welcome back to EdTech by Meera, and in today's episode I'll be creating a new project in Python which is creating a high score table. Basically a table whereby you'll be inputting your name initials and the score. Just an idea to get how to do it, and you'll be also learning, while doing this you'll be learning how to create new files by coding in Python. Create new files, adding data, and so on and so forth. So let's import OS in time, and after that do the while true loop. So after you do the while true loop, inside that what you need to do the following tasks as usual. So first and foremost, print the name of the project, which is high score table. So print high score table. Okay, then followed by the print command to execute this print. Then after that, in the next line, you create a variable called initials because I will be inputting not name but initials. So I call it initials, but it's up to you. You could give it a name. You could call your variable name as well. That's up to you. So initials equals input initials. And remember, it's a string. And then another one, which is another variable also I need to create, which is a score, right? So score, which is going to be the score in numbers that you're going to put over there. So that again, input score. Okay. Again followed by the print command to execute these printings of the values and the variables. Okay, so it's very simple. You already know this by now. We've been doing this a dozen times to create variables, to store values, right? Which are input by the user. Okay. So you can like write input your score, input your initials, or you can just write score initials. You can use the string as to your like. Okay. Now, after this, you need to create another variable, which is the f variable. Now, usually f here stands for file. You can call it file or f, but usually in Python we call it f, call the variable f. So f equals open. Now, whenever you give a command coding like this, f equals open, and then in the parenthesis, the first parameter will be the name of the file that you're creating. So I call it high score. You can call it high score data, or high.score, high_score. That's up to you. I just call it high score, then comma, and remember it has to be stringed. So high score and then comma, followed by another string character which is A plus. Now A is actually stands for adding. So that means if you don't write this A plus, what happens is every time you fill in your data, first time, then second time, it will overwrite the first one or the previous value. So in order to avoid overwriting, you write comma, the second parameter as A plus. So every time you do A plus, that is adding, so it will add up at the end. Like first value you add, let's say 10, second value 20. So after the first value, after the previous value, the second value will be added on, and so on and so forth. Until the end of the table. So that's the idea of giving the second parameter, which is always A plus. Stands for adding the values and not rewriting. To avoid overwriting, sorry. To avoid overwriting, we do this. Then after that, the next, what we do is, task is f.write. Now, this is the typical coding while you're handling files. This you need to do. The first one is for opening a file, write in a parenthesis f open and then two parameters in the parenthesis. First one file name, second A plus for adding whatever. Then next command should be f.write. That means file.write, because after opening you need to fill it with some data, right? So f.write, and then in the parenthesis. Now here we are using the string formatting, f and then the string. Inside that, the two curly braces. The first curly braces will be holding the name of initials. Remember, initials is a variable that we created. So initials, which we already created, and the second one in the curlies will be score value. So and then you are doing the /n for creating a new line every time, so that it gives the formatting of a table. Otherwise, all the values will be added on one beside the other, right? So in order to avoid that, in order to create a new line, you do the /n. So this is a format you need: initials and score, and then the new line, then f.close, so that it close the line. This is this is fundamental steps for opening, writing, and closing. Right? After that, we create another variable. I just call it finish. You can call it whatever you like. Finish equals input. That means I want to create a loop after this. So I want to know, like, add more data, yes or no. That means I'm giving the option to the user to whether to add more data or just finish after that. So I make this variable finish. Then after that, I create a loop with this finish. If finish equal to no, break. That means no. Means I don't want to add more data. Add more data? No. I don't want to add any more data. So that means break. Else continue. That means yes, I want to add more data. Continue. No, I don't want to add data. Break. Else I want to add data. Yes, continue. I think it's clear enough in human language. Okay. Then after that, do you want to print out something? Okay, I want to print, like, maybe I can write print finish entering data, whatever, or added all the scores. Whatever the final statement that you want to write, you can write here. Either you can say added all the scores and the names, or you can say added everything, or you can say finish entering data, whatever the final statement. Yeah. Then after that, time.sleep. Okay, because remember, for pausing after every data. So time.sleep, I give it 2 seconds, that's up to you again. Then, okay, I'm just doing the print statements. I did 2 print statements, but later on I'll see which one befits while I'm testing it. So time.sleep, then followed by, remember OS, which we imported, os.system clear, so that it will clear out the data when you're doing the when you're running it another time in between. So sleep is for pausing, and for clearing the screen is os.system. We've done that earlier for all our projects in Python. So it's self-explanatory. Okay, so let's get started by running the code. Okay, running it. Let's see if it's working. Oh yes, input your, first it gives the title, high score table, input your initials. So I write something blah blah blah. I write in, I don't write in caps, let me try. Then I write some score, some imaginary fictitious score. And then, are you sure, yes or no? It says, if I say yes, I'm allowed to continue to the next level where I can add more initial, second time again initial and score. Yeah, I did that. Okay. Again, yes, I'm again given a chance. So every time I type yes, I'm given a chance to enter more initial and score. So every time it will stop you and say yes or no, so that you have a choice to end it or continue. That's the idea of creating that loop. The for loop, that is. I mean the if-else loop, sorry. Here we created the while true loop in which the major tasks were given. Inside that we created the if-else loop for continuing or breaking the game. You can call it game or challenge or whatever. So 2 loops are there, remember that. While true is of course the main loop that we, most fundamental loop which we require all the time. If, okay, now you can see when you say no, it stops there, doesn't continue, it breaks off. Yeah? So that's the way. And like I say, the while true is very much essential here. Had you not done the if-else loop, nothing, it wouldn't have affected the game much, except that it wouldn't ask you whether you want to continue or not. It will be just an infinite loop. It will keep on continuing, just to inform you. That's the only difference. But here, you are given a chance to break and start and exit. So that's the difference. So more than if-else, the important loop here is a while true loop. So that's up to you, whether you want to do the if-else loop here or not. And then here I'm just doing dot upper because every time you write your name in small letters, it will still be converted to caps because it's not the name, it's the initials, remember. So just for the sake of courtesy, initials are usually typed as caps. So every time you say dot upper, then your small letters will get converted to caps. You know that already. I mean, if you don't know, this is the rule. And then we check if our file is free. That's the magic of it. You just wrote here f equals open file name and a+, and lo and behold, you have a file which is created by the name of high score. Whatever name you put here, by that name you have a file. So first we check here whether we are able to run the code, and then we check the file. Okay, I'm just testing it out second time. Yeah, now it should appear as caps because I did the dot upper, even though I'm typing my initials for the score in small letters. So thanks to all of you who are, there you go, high score. When you just go and check over there in the files prompt, you will find a new file already created. Magic, right? See, it's already in the file format, and whatever I typed out in small letters becomes caps here automatically. That was the main, this is the main PY. And by the way, again for your information, I am using the Replit editor for doing this project in Python. And this project is based on the 100 days of code in Python. And thanks to David again for giving the challenge to all the Python learners. I have changed the code, modified the code a bit from what he has done, because I input the loop, the if-else loop as well, which was not there in the initial game. So I will be giving you the source code in my GitHub as well. And as mentioned, thanks to you guys, for those who are already staying subscribed, and to those who are not subscribed, please smash the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified of all my new projects as soon as it is published. There you go, I'm testing it out and it's going out fine. The best part of this code is, like I said, having the file made for you when it was not even existing. And you can also manually create a file in Replit, which I'll be showing you in a later project. But in this project, the idea was to show you the magic, how a file is created, imagine, just by writing f is open file name and a+. And you are able to not only open a new file, but you can write into it, write data into it. You can close the file, and you can add on more data to it, right? And then you're also able to decide whether it's an infinite loop or a finite loop. whether you want to continue or break out from the loop. So this was the idea of doing this project. There you go. You can see the high score file here just above the main.py. Yeah, that was created one. It was not existing before. You can create them manually, but in this case, it got created because of this code. Magic, right? So you can see the complete code here. I'll be giving you the source code in my GitHub also, GitHub source code repository also. And but I suggest this is a very simple project as compared to my other projects. This was just the idea of teaching you how to work with files, the basic concept of files. Okay, I just remove some extra print statements, that's all. I'm just done with one print statement, that's it. In the beginning, you can write the print statement actually after closing the file. So that's why I just edited that part. Not after continue, but you can do it just right after closing it. F.close.